Welcome back. Today I want to tell you about a real legend. We're talking about Pythagoras, the man and the myth. You know the name Pythagoras, right? Most of us who know of him think of him as just that math guy with the triangle theorem, but trust me, he was so much more than a formula. He was part philosopher, part spiritual guru, and part rock star of the ancient world. He was born around 570 BC on the Greek island of Samos. His father was a wealthy merchant who took his pregnant wife, Pythagoras, to the oracle at Delphi. Seriously, this is historic record. She told him their child would be extraordinary and bless all of humanity. Several months later, he's born. His name is Pythagoras, which literally means the Pythian speaks, or the oracle has spoken. He didn't waste time either. He was a traveling scholar, picking up wisdom everywhere he went, eventually founding his own community. It was a kind of spiritual commune dedicated to a virtuous life, the study of philosophy, and of course mathematics. This wasn't just book smarts. He believed math was the golden chain that linked everything: the physics, music, astronomy, and even the human soul. For Pythagoras, the universe was an ordered, harmonious place that could be understood through numbers. He was basically saying the universe is a cosmos, beautiful, well-ordered, and ultimately good. Now, about that famous enigma, the 47th problem, the Pythagorean theorem. Here's where it gets very interesting and maybe just a little controversial. Did he actually invent it? The truth is, the Babylonians were using this concept 1,000 years before Pythagoras was even born. So no, he didn't invent it. However, he or his school is credited with doing something arguably more important with it by proving it rigorously. They turned a practical surveying tool into an absolute timeless truth of geometry. That's the real magic here. Taking an observation and backing it up with a solid and logically based proof that's still true today. But here's a wrinkle. An old legend says Pythagoras was so overjoyed by the discovery that he sacrificed 100 oxen, or then known as a hecatomb, to the gods. Now, I have my doubts in this as I've dug deep into the able S of historic documentation, and the man was a strict vegetarian. Sacrificing 100 animals? That just doesn't fit the vibe of a master philosopher dedicated to harmony. It's probably just a cool story for the tomes, a rumor attached to a truly major breakthrough. The secret life of a master Pythagoras' influence went far beyond the classroom. He was a major force in the spiritual traditions that followed. Some scholars suggest he might have been an early blueprint for what later became known as a kind of highly educated, enlightened teacher or master. His principles, especially the study of the quadrivium, arithmetic, geometry, music, and astronomy, became the backbone of liberal arts and education for centuries. He saw the universe through these numerical ratios. Music, for example. He learned that the most pleasing consonant musical sounds came from vibrations that had simple whole number ratios, like 2-1 or 3-2. Think about that. A sound that hits you emotionally is rooted in a pure, cold number. And here's a final mind-bender for the mental soup pot. Pythagoras and his followers believed the earth was round, not flat. How does that information blow your mind? They even challenged the prevailing idea that the earth was the center of everything, suggesting instead that the earth and other planets revolved around a central fire. It wasn't quite a perfect model, but it was a radical shift that predated Copernicus by nearly 2,000 years. So, the next time you hear his name, just remember that Pythagoras wasn't just a guy with a theorem. He was a spiritual leader, a cosmic thinker, and a boundary pusher whose ideas on math, music, and the very structure of the universe are still echoing today, as the perfect example of a man who bridged the gap between raw numbers and profound wisdom. Pretty fascinating stuff, right? We've got a lot more to unpack about his mystical teachings if you're interested.